Um, okay, so as you know, I've been playing the program, which is a college football game. And you also know, if you've seen any of my other videos related to the programming I've been doing, I'm developing a football game. Now, these are all American football, but my game is going to be based on professional rules and play, using players, real life player stats to form all players, including my rookies. I've got a plan for how my rookies are going to work. Basically, they're going to be first year player stats that are assigned to the rookies. I've got a system set up or planned for that uses that has potential that you can they'll grow, and of course they will diverge from their original player, right? Because each season that you play, you can train them, build them. They do perform whatever they do within the game that's going to diverge their skill set from the path of the actual players. But they will start at that point, and whatever point you get them, you can get them from any point in their career. There'll be different players that you can bring into that'll come into the leagues, and you can uh, add them to your team or your collection. So that's my game. But I feel like one of the things I need to know in making the best game is what makes a management game work and what doesn't. Now, I've seen a lot of what doesn't. I've seen a lot. I've played every mobile game. I've tried every mobile game there is. And pretty much the things that I don't like and the things that don't work for me are the, what do you call it, the pay elements. And honestly, I don't really have a thing so much against pay elements. It's just the way they're implemented. They're implemented in such a way that you can't play for free. You can't. They're not truly free to plays. They're more like they can be played for freeze. It's free, playable for free, but playable does not imply you're getting the full experience. And that is something I'm desperately trying to avoid in my game. Now, my game is going to be mobile and PC. That's definitely designed for me. In fact, there may even be web elements. I will explain that at a later time. But for now, let's just say I feel like it's important to know, am I going the right way? Am I implementing things that don't work? Am I implementing things that are needed? Maybe it shouldn't be. um, it's kind of like, I guess it's getting a full grasp of the competition. What's out there? What's making these games work and not work? Now, there's certain things I can't tell about the success of some games, like these two games. These are two online games. I think they're the two most well known. If there's a third one, I think there might even be another one out there. But these are the ones I have come across in my research. FootballGM.com and gridiron.org. They both have, I don't know, I've never played these games, but I've walked through their kind of, this is what they, what do you call it, their search or through their list of features. And I've kind of gotten a feel for what they're supposed to have. You know, they're both claimed to be free play games. Are they good enough that well, for one, I can tell you they're not going to, what they're not going to be. They're not going to be simulations like my game, in that my game's going to have a visual element where it's not just bars moving up and down the field. I don't know exactly what these look like. These don't actually go as far as to actually show you an example of a game. So even in their images, they have, yeah, see, I don't see anything here that actually displays. Oh, okay, here we go. So yeah, they must do it like most. They do the bars. You have guys moving up and down the field, and it's a bar going back and forth. That seems to be what all the management games do. All the ones with any real depth to them, they all do the bars thing. And some of them are trying to get, I think, as some of the more modern ones, are starting to. There's one I saw that does on Steam that does kind of put some little guys on there. They're very small pixelated guys, but it does move them. I don't know. I don't know what is actually happening behind the scenes in a lot of these. I do know that as I've developed my game, if you want to have true realism, I don't know that they're doing what I'm doing. I could be wrong, but it's really complex. It's really complex, and if these guys have done that, my hat's off to them. My hat's off to you guys. If you are actually doing what I'm trying to accomplish. Because, for one, I mean, I'm going to get it done, therefore it's possible, and therefore I can't say that they're not doing it for sure. But the logic behind the scenes on mine is very complex in that it goes as far as taking real life player stats, create skills, and at each point in a play, those skills translate into some type of action that happens at every point in the play, from your route running to your blocking to your cuts on the field. Are you affecting your opponent? Every one of those things has to happen on the field during the course of a play. At the end of a play, they have to try to find a spot on the field. So every little action has to happen. And the DBs have to do the same thing. They have an area which they have to cover, and they have to respond to a player that's going to be in a specific area in the field. So there's a zone defense. I mean, yeah, they draw the plays out, but what are those plays doing in the back end on their games? I don't know. I don't know how thoroughly they're putting those in, if they're just giving. Now, I believe it's possible. Now, I don't know how accurately it can be done, and maybe that's all it needs to be done, but that's not what I want to do. I want my players to respond literally playing the game. But I think it's possible that each game like this could just give bonus checks to everything that happens on the play. Plus, 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 you get a value, bam. What happens is a result of this value plus those values, right? And then so you have a play that's a certain kind of play, and so if it's a zone and this play runs into an area, okay, that means the defense played the right play. They get a bonus on the check, and certain things happen and don't happen. And I think it's a logical way to go, and it's probably easier because you can just sum up the design of the play very easily, and therefore you don't. The thing is about that is you don't have to mimic actual player play, and therefore the bars become the only way you can render that kind of game, because you're giving everything logic and bonuses for how they're going to respond. A good receiver, mediocre cornerback, plus zone, running a route that hits the zone, and you just give it a math value, right? And then that plus quarterback, what's the quarterback skill? So all these things come together to make a math result, and then as that happens, you can put down the marker on the field. So okay, so this it was an incomplete pass, the quarterback failed, or based on the skill of this guy and that guy and whatever else, you math it all out. Bam, he got 7 yards, 8 yards, 6 yards, 3 yards, -2 yards, and that's what's happening on the field. So you can bucket everything into just math values, and then generate, maybe as a result, a range of plays. So every play is only allowed to get X amount of yards. It can get more. Maybe there's a random in there. I think that's what College Football Pro goes a little bit differently. Not College Football Pro, but the program, College Football Pro. Boy, that would be a contradiction, right? But no, I think what's can happen with I think the way the program does it is they literally only give you the plays you work with. You get 4 defensive plays. It has more plays in the game, and it'll randomly give you choices to pick from every one of those. You might have 12 plays to pick from, but you're only going to get 4. And it's only going to run those 4. That's what I am starting to realize. And then you have your offensive plays, and you get 5. And you only get those 5. And the reason I think that that's what's happening, because it doesn't tell you that's all you're getting, but if you only put run plays in, your players, you will only run the ball. You will not pass. You will literally have 60 yards of play or 60 running plays. Your quarterback won't get a single stat point, which also is kind of misleading, right? I mean, how does that even happen? I mean, at some point you would think the quarterback would have something, but he just is basically taken out of the game if you don't run any pass plays. And so you'll get no results for your receivers either because they won't do anything. So unless you do something like a reverse or something. So it's very odd. I mean, I don't think it's realistic. I mean, I thought maybe you were just getting 4 that were your focus plays, and then it would randomly play other plays. It's obviously it's not what it appears to be what's happening. I've never played these two, so let's get them on. Let's get it going. I was gonna play them because I want to see what these online games are doing. They've been around for a while. My understanding is, some of them have been around for many years. Oh, great. I didn't even realize. I'm showing you my password, so I'm gonna have to use that password and change the password. Didn't even realize they did it. It says they were gonna send me my password via email, and I didn't realize that they said, oh, and by the way, you're gonna also have it here. Oh, what the heck? I got to go through the process. Okay. I probably should change that since I had it loaded. So how do you do that? That'll be interesting. Let's go here. See if I can change. Where's So this one is FootballGM. Oh, you can't even play yet. Thank you for activating your GI account. You are currently on waiting list. You can log out now. Log back into the game when you receive email from administrators. Okay, let's see what it says. Important. Submitting your application. You acknowledge that you have understood and accept. You may not register more than one team, nor register a team for a friend. We regard this as cheating, and offending users will be banned. Okay, so one team per person. It's kind of weird. The local community is important. Collection and use of personal information, cookies. Okay, well, I guess I will try the other one. I don't need to play them both at the same time. I was going to. Well, I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe they both do waiting lists. That's kind of a weird thing. I mean, why? That implies it's, I guess, actually, I don't know what that implies. I mean, what does it say? It says the company is validating everybody. They only want to have so many people on the game at once. I don't know what that says. What does that say exactly? Let's try this one. Okay. Create new league. All right. We'll call this one FCLC. Sure, 2026. Pick your team. I have to pick. I can customize. Baltimore Crabs. Denver High. Can you customize? What are the customizations? So region, name, random players team, team from existing league, custom team. Wow, let's go with West. Take this one out, we'll add a team, and we're going to call this one, let's make it something about, like, a little bit like mine, Vborn Scorned. And we'll call this VEB. And stadium capacity, population, logo. Should I go get my logo? I don't have a logo URL. It'd be cool to put one in here, though. No. I don't know what that color is. I'm trying to get kind of a dark orange. So like that, maybe? Sure. Close enough. It's kind of red, but I don't know. It is not the orange I'm looking for. This is very red. That's orange? I don't know. Not very. Alright, let's go with that one. And then default, let's see. What do I Vborn Scorned. Should I add a logo? I gotta figure out where my logo would be, though. I don't technically have a logo online because my logo is not online. Maybe at another time. I'll go logoless for now. And then what now? Add division. These are divisions? Oh no. And I'll just save teams. Sure, why not? Okay. Fantasy League competition, competitor. That's what FCLC stands for. I want to see what this is. Okay, so we'll create the league. We'll do normal difficulty. I'm trying to just see what these, how these other people implement stuff. I do notice that most of them let you create your own team name, so that's something I may have to consider. People like customization, I get it. I've just been afraid of allowing team names because, well, I'm afraid of people. I'm afraid of what people will do. Because you got to remember, my game interacts with other people. So you're not just playing locally. You create any name you want. Locally, who cares? It's just, you're the only one who ever sees it. If you play a team with a offensive name, right? Offensive to whoever you're playing, or you're, rude, offensive, racist, whatever somebody might do in a name, that goes up against another team. They're going to be like, what? I don't want to, I don't want to interact with this person. If they're not, on board with your humor, if that's even what it is, some people, it's not humor. That's just, their thing. But anyway, so I have no idea what I'm doing. So we'll just say team leaders, team stats, league leaders. This is all zeros right now. I know nothing about it. FootballGM is now fully loaded and will continue to work even when you are offline. That's kind of interesting. So they're giving you all your stuff offline, which I do think is cool. I want to do the same thing with the PC version. I am building a local database, so every game I have has a local database. The trick is, though, remember, this is going to work on, like any game, it's going to be where it's installed. So I think it's kind of, I don't know what happens if you log in another location. And was it synchronizing? How does that work? It must do something that synchronizes it to your local, to the online system. That's what I'm trying to accomplish, where I have it synchronizing periodically through the time you're playing. But if you go offline, it'll keep playing and it'll just synchronize when it can. That's the objective. But I want it to synchronize regularly. So if you do decide to log off on your mobile device and go play on your PC, it can synchronize and give you your latest data, right? So I'm not sure how that's all going to work right now. I'm designing it to work mobile, but I don't know what's going to happen when I go PC because it's a different thing. So there's stuff to consider. I'm thinking what's going to end up happening is the PC version may always be online, but that might be a problem. I don't know. We'll see. One thing at a time, man. I'm not to that point. So what am I doing? What's the I don't see a menu or anything. What am I doing? Just go click on, this is the conference, league headlines. What is this? Detroit Muscle. What is that? Oh, okay. I have no idea what I'm doing. Let's see here. So where is my team? I'm Denver. Maybe. Philadelphia, San Orleans. Or V-Born. Sorry, it's V-Born. Did I not create my team? I did say create league. It was there. I'm 14th in conference. Oh, why is it Detroit? That's not what I named it. What the heck? I did a customize. It ignored me. I said customize. And then I said get rid of this one. Oh, am I like... Well... Okay, so it's not totally clear. So I got rid of that one, add a team. I went through my whole, said custom team. Oh, can I go? Let's see, what else can I do? Okay, so I'm rename. Let's just rename it. League name? Oh, that's fine. Oh. What else can I do with this? Import, rename, clone, delete. FCL. So if I click on the, I say play, and then I click on my team. Oh, I see what happened. Somehow I didn't get my team. I don't know how that worked. So, all right, let's try this again. We're gonna go here. We're gonna go here. I'll hit delete. Okay, so delete league, and I'll say create new league. This time I'm going to take the. I think what happens is you have to take. FCLC. And then if I say, then you customize, and then I just edit it. Oh, okay, okay. So it's gonna, we're gonna change this to Vborn Scorned, and then abbreviation will be BEB. It has logos, but I'm changing the name colors here, so we're gonna go dark. And then we'll go back here, and we'll start us here, and we'll go here. And this will just be white. Is that red? I'm trying to get more orange. Let's go a little bit more over here. There we go. All right. 15. Okay, so now let's try that again. Save teams. And it's supposed to be Vborn Scorned. There we go. Then we'll say create league. There we go. There we go. We are now the Vborn Scorned. All right, so that's one thing. So as I work my way through the system here. All right, so there is a menu here that kind of gives you an idea of what you can do. Now look at this. That is a lot of pages. How many is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 16. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 25. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 39. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 for 56. Not to mention your help and whatever else, which looks like about 4 more pages. So about 60. You got 60 options on your, and then that's not even counting the dashboard because I don't think I counted that. So 61. 61 options. And you can even switch leagues. So if you have more than one league, it's kind of like my game will have more than one team. You'll pick, if you have another team, you only get one team in a league. That's a fix. So when I say switch teams, you're going to switch to your league that team is on. So if you have more than one team in my game, you go same thing. So you will have this board. It's a little icon at the top. You click on it. If you have more than one team, it'll pop up your list of teams, and you pick which team you want to go to. And I'll probably have it mark which league that is. Now, let's go look. Standings is, here we go. There's the standings of the current league. So it's 0. I haven't done nothing, obviously. Now, obviously, there's no playoffs. They do have, this is interesting. I like that they have kind of a playoff tracker. So that's kind of interesting. What they would be if it ended right now, which is kind of cool. I like that it's doing the, there's no reason why it shouldn't be able to do that, right? So as games play out, You just have your you have to have your tiebreakers in place. That's an interesting feature. I like that. Um, Weekly schedule. I don't have a schedule yet. How's that? Don't I play somebody? Don't I have to, what do I have to do? Let's go look at my roster. So, like mine, you're going to get your default team, your default players right out the right out the gate. Does it say how many players you have on your roster? QB, running back, wide receiver, tight end. Doesn't say how many. But it does look like it's probably similar even to mine. So let's see, we got 7, 13, 16, 25, 37, 42, 43, 44, 53. Yep. 53. Mine is set up to be 53 as well, I believe. So, yeah. Only play through injuries. Only play fully healthy players. So this is interesting. This seems to be a commonality. I'm starting to see this in most games, right? Where your players, even injured, will play. Which I feel like that's unrealistic, right? I mean, probable, it means light injury, means you're probably going to play. You might have a slight degradation. But ultimately, questionable is a possible play, but again, slightly more degradation. But I think once you get past questionable, which is doubtful and whatever, doubtful is not fully injured, right? And doubtful just means, yeah, we're probably not playing them. I think, I don't know. Doubtful, I think ultimately your guy has to get to a point where he's able to play. So like maybe it's it'd be kind of interesting how to set a clock on guys. So each your fitness adjusts the time. Huh, that'd be interesting. So you literally get better over time. It's not just injured, not injured, injured, not injured. That's interesting. Or you could do something like go from out to doubtful to questionable and have that kind of be your time clock. But I think that would be kind of cool. Have it based on like a real time clock. Not real time in like real world time, but real time like in game time. So maybe you get a slight muscle pull and based on your fitness levels, it'll determine the speed of the clock. So you heal a little bit faster. So you might be doubtful because it might not be good enough because the clock's going to move. Maybe it randomly moves a certain amount based on your thing. So sometimes you're doing healing fast and sometimes you're healing a little slower, but it has an adjustment. I like that. It makes it so you don't know for sure when a guy's coming back, but a guy could be out for weeks, months. Probably, but for like lower injuries, it'll heal faster. So. And maybe you could have coach or trainers that allow your players to play sooner. Maybe they adjust if they play at minus 10% or 15% or 20%, which would be a lot. I think that'd be a huge degradation. But at some point, you got to say no, right? You can't let guys play. So I do think it's interesting, though, that they got this playful, healthy players. I don't know how they do their percentage ranks and how long that lasts. Is it just for a week he's down for that amount? I think it would be cool because then you can kind of look every day and track a player. Say, oh, he's almost good enough to play. I think I might, Then you can make a decision if you want to put him in. You can put a player in at pretty much any state. Well, maybe except if they're in a questionable state, or I'm sorry, a doubtful state. Doubtful, they can't come in. But it's just a warning to the league that there's a tiny chance if he heals well. I do like that. I like that. So, I don't know what they're doing. I just think about the injury scenarios that these guys, everybody's got their thing, right? And it is quite possible that everybody's got their own logic. I like I said, it's all about realism to me, right? But also, you don't want it to be so realistic that it's just cumbersome to play. So some of the stuff needs to be happening under the covers. I don't want to make it overly complicated for me either. It has to be code that's it has to be code that is practical for the situation. So let's go see what else we got going on. We got the depth chart. They got height. I don't have height in my players, and I may at some point implement it. I guess it's important for certain types of things, right? A quarterback might be less likely to have stuff blocked if he's got, a certain height. Receivers might have a slightly better. The thing is, my feeling is about that is it's a skill thing. If you've got a great receiver, I think it makes it more. It might be like a bonus if you compare height during a play, right? So it's like if your guy's pretty tall, maybe you have a lineman who's good at blocking passes, but maybe he's not all that tall, so there'd be like a check on the block. He goes up to block, and maybe a better quarterback might have a better chance of the ball going over him, that kind of thing. So that's kind of an interesting concept. So again, this is all about design. I am kind of going over these because I feel like it's a competition thing. Plus, I want to learn how to play it. I played the program. I like the program for a mobile game. This is not that. You could probably play this on your phone. So this is it. So this is QBs, but which ones are? This is a depth chart, but wait, is it not sorted? Oh, is it just? It just puts the QBs at top. Oh, interesting. So all the players are on the field, but the quarterbacks are in the front. Huh. So I have a similar layout here, but I only show those players. But I have an all that you can if you want to put a player in a position. So you could theoretically. So this game lets you move everybody. You can't sort by their stats though. What is here's another question. I like this as far as it goes, but I don't like spreadsheet layouts. I don't feel like it's gamey enough. I don't know. So he's got stats. I will have stats on my cards, but they will be cards. You look at them, you can see their stats. So that's in-game. That's seasonal stats. That's not gonna, or career even. But as far as the skills go, ball security, I have something like that. Accuracy, yeah. Power. Vision. I have, I think, what do I have? I don't know, call it vision. I think I call it awareness. Endurance, and I have a fitness. Speed, everybody's got speed. I would imagine strength is kind of equivalent to my break tackle skill. I don't know what else that would be used for. Maybe that's how far he can throw it. Maybe it affects his arm strength. I use a slightly different mechanic for determining distance and ability to throw far away. Potential rating. Okay, so potential, again, they show you the potential of players. A lot of games show you potential, which I guess is good because it gives you an idea of where they can go. But at the same time, my potential system is not set up. It's not a fixed value. It's a potential. Potential is not something you can truly predict. It's like, you know, this guy's got all the tools to be successful. But maybe in time you realize, maybe his potential's not 80. Maybe it's only 65. He's just not going to get there. And then you have players that are like, you know, they start off at a 65, but they're just they're just lighting up the field. And then you realize, hey, wait a minute, this guy might have higher potential than I thought. This guy might actually be way better. And this is your 6th-round guy who ends up being a superstar, right? His potential is higher than you thought. He can actually go much more. And that's just because maybe certain things have proven to you that he's more than you would expect. So, I don't know. I think here, I gotta take a. I gotta write something down here. Also, I don't believe in age as a moniker, age as a limiting factor. But don't get me wrong. I believe that age combined with maturity can limit your well, let's just say age plus maturity plus wear and tear can limit your skill over time. Okay. What I mean by maturity is the mental aspect that says, I just don't want to do this anymore. I'm going a different direction. My mind is now into something else. My desire is not indicative of what my willingness to put in the effort. I think a lot of these guys, this is just me. This is my visualization of how health works in the world. I think most people who are out of shape because they just don't do anything to be in shape. And people say, oh, I'm too old to do that now. Well, you're not too old. You just don't do it. You can do a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more, and build your strength back up. Now, do I feel like an 80-year-old can do what a 30-year-old can do? I don't know. Don't know. Do these guys work out to the level that they did? Most of them will tell you no. But then, are they able to? Did they push themselves? Are they willing to do that? I don't know. Have they done? Now, like I said, there's the physical aspect of it, that as you get older, sometimes maybe your body's not producing as much of X, Y, or Z, this thing or the other thing, in which case that does limit you by age, right? But at the same time, or is it because you don't have enough? Are you not compensating? Are you not getting the vitamins you need? Are you not taking the supplements you need to offset these things? Are you not? I mean, I don't know. I mean, I feel like that's the case. Right now, personally, I'm almost 56. I can run fast. Well, I'm not faster. I'm not faster than I was in high school, but then I don't sprint. I don't do the things necessary to do that. So my 100 is like 17 seconds right now versus what it was in high school, which I was slow. I only did like a 13.5. I mean, I was slow. So I've never been a fast runner, and that was pretty bad. I run distance. I can run farther than I ever did, right now. I mean, I've run multiple marathons and half marathons, And I just ran a half marathon in November. I think last year I was my fastest ever half marathon, um, Turkey Day half marathon, which was, I think I did it in like 140 or something like that, 144, which was pretty fast considering I have no motivation. There's nobody around me. I just run by myself. I say Turkey Day because on Thanksgiving I run a half marathon, and that was my fastest in a 10-year stretch where I've done it every single year for 10 years. Um, Not once, not even 10 years ago was I able to run it as fast as I did. And this year it was slower, but I was injured. I had a Achilles thing going on, so that kind of messed me up. I think I had a pretty good time up until kind of hurt it on the last mile, and that dragged me down probably several minutes. I think I did it in 148, 49. But again, that's kind of been where I've always been. And I'm only running halves lately because I just don't like the way I feel after a full marathon. It just wipes me out. And it's wiped me out every time I've done it, even over all the years. I play tennis and pickleball. And honestly, I think I'm just as good at tennis now as I've been when I played a lot in my 20s. I just, I can run them down. I still run them down. I play the same way I always did. My strategy's always been to run down the ball. And so I'm just there and I irritate people because I don't let the ball get away and I chase them down. I don't think I'm noticeably slower than I've been in the past. Pickleball, I still have quick reflexes, jump in front of the ball. I mean, I don't notice anything different. And I still very competitive playing with younger guys, people who are in their 20s and 30s, and I can often beat them. They might be a little bit more skilled, but skill is something you have to play more, and I don't play enough. So, but as far as getting to the ball and keeping the game competitive, definitely. So, yeah, I can't noticeably say that I'm stronger than I've ever been. I can do a lot more body weight stuff, even full heavy weights. Just recently, I've done over, bench press, 160, 170. I don't do that as much because I have shoulder injuries that have kind of kept me from doing super heavy weights. But I can do a lot more body weight stuff than I've ever been able to do. So I don't know. Of course, most people wouldn't say that my age is considered old age, but still, I mean, compared to my 35-year-old self, which in the NFL is an age you would still be playing, I don't think there's much I could do at 35 that I can't do now. So, is it because I stay in shape and I work out all the time and I do pay attention to all those things, or is it just because I haven't aged to a point where the deprecation is there and maybe I was just never at my peak? I don't know. Who knows? Anyway, so back onto the thing. So schedule. Don't have a schedule. So there must be like a draft or something where I have to build a team because I have a team, but what are the expectations? Oh, look at that. That's kind of interesting. I don't have a lot of finance stuff in my game. It's not currently scoped. I do have ideas and things I'd like to, but short of trades, manipulating salary cap, that's it. That's all I've really got. I've thought about trying to figure out how to implement, what to implement. What is it that works for things you can do? And like you have your area where your population matters, your average attendance. These are all things that are important, and they plus 1.6% injury duration. So they give you a certain amount of money. Looks like they're roughly 38 million if you split it up evenly. So this must be percentage, right? 60. Nope, that's not percentage. Oh, interesting. So they calculate your ticket price based on how you spend your money here. So if you don't spend too much money here, your ticket price doesn't go up, I'd imagine. So you have The current payroll is above the minimum payroll limit, below the salary cap, and below the luxury limit. I don't know what luxury limit is. Is a hard cap, meaning that you cannot exceed it even when re-signing your own players or making trades. The only exception is that you can always sign players to minimum contracts, so you are never stuck with a team too small to play. Teams with payrolls below the minimum payroll limit will be assessed a fine equal to the difference at the end of the season. Huh. Is there a minimum payroll in the NFL? I haven't implemented that. So it doesn't explain what this luxury tax limit is, though. It doesn't explain the luxury tax limit. Huh. Okay, so history. I obviously don't have any history. GM history. The GM history page is similar to the team history page, except it's not just for one team. It's for every team you were the GM of. Currently, there are 3 ways to change teams. 1, do a really bad job, and the owner will fire you. Do a really good job, and the other teams may want to hire you. So you're starting with, like, I start with this team, but I can bounce around. So you're a GM. See, that's a different thing, too. And that's why I guess you would switch league and not switch team. But in my game, you're kind of the owner, because you hire coaches, but you're also the GM. I don't know. I guess I have to figure that out. Bouncing around from team to team, is that a thing? I guess it could be. I have open roster spots and 23 million in cap space. Huh. Interesting. So there's players to trade for. Boston Massacre. So you can offer trades for any player on any team. Just say, hey, dude, I need that guy. He'll be like, sure, let me give you that guy. Trading block. So these are guys that people want to trade, are willing to trade. Interesting. I've been trying to figure out, I'm still mapping out how my trades are going to work. So how I want to be able to do draft picks. I want to do multiplayer trades. So that's kind of a thing, right? So how that lays out, that's what I'm thinking. How do I lay that out? How do I create? Most of these games do this, where it's lists and lists of stuff, and I'm trying to avoid it. I don't want to do lists. I really don't. Lists are weird. They're clunky. They're ugly. So, yeah. Draft. Okay, so what's draft? The ratings shown are scouts' projections for what the players' ratings will be when they enter the draft. The further in the future, the more uncertainty there is in their estimates. Compare to 5 prospects. When they enter the draft, the ratings shown are scouts' projections for what the players. What does it say for age? Well, they're all the right age, so how far in the future can they go? Oh, it's got 19 here. I guess he's probably... So there's a lot of players here. So when you draft rookies in my game, it's based on the actual rookie results of other teams. So when I pull, since I'm building in players with stats, you actually, all your rookies actually have 1 year of stats to build their basic stats from. So you could actually get a really good player, but their potential might be really high. So let's just say, for example, you brought in Bo Nix I'm a Broncos fan. I keep mentioning him. You bring in Bo Nix during his rookie season, which would technically be this year's starting point, right? So he'd be in the draft with whatever he did in the first season. So he actually had a pretty good year. Potential will be built from where he actually was drafted from. So if he was drafted in, I think he was drafted in the first round, but he was like 16th or something like that. And so he would be, I want to say 16th, maybe it was 12th. I don't know. He was pretty early in the draft. So his potential will be based off where he was drafted in the league, his position, and whatever his stats were. So it just allows me to kind of build him a little bit different. So they may not have a huge, so his skill set will be based off of his actual stats, but his potential, which is really all you're getting at that point, you get a base skill set and you get their potential. And then they get, now the tricky part is I got to figure out how to build players that maybe they were benched in their rookie year. It doesn't mean they won't be in the league, but it gets interesting because I have to figure out how to get players draftable that are real life players based on real life skills, because you can't use their college performance. You can't pull in their college performance and expect that to be a good measurement of play, because it's kind of irrelevant. On other pages, you can find the watch icon by clicking the info button. You can edit a player's notes near the top of the profile page. Wow, you can give them notes. Hall of Fame. Game log. Only eligible players are shown. This is stats. Probably not going to have a lot of tools. So I'm not sure when does the league schedule kick in? I basically went down everything. History, power rankings, transactions. Welcome to your new league. Thank you. Roster. Is it because I don't have a full team yet? So when I go to roster, depth chart, fine. Okay, so this is the menu that is everything under roster. Okay. Game log. Depth chart. Click or drag row handles to move players between the starting lineup and the bench. So this line is obviously starting and everybody else is bench, but it's only bench in relation to that position. Projected draft picks. Oh, I thought we were in draft. I'm still trying to figure out how do I proceed. Where do I go from here? Oh, dashboard. I don't know what I'm supposed to do here, people. Am I supposed to go? Is it because I have slots? Do I have to fill my slots? What was the, there was a thing here. Free agents. I have 23 million in cap space. So that means I have to go see where am I weak? Where's my, there's only 3, 6, 10 guys. Oh, there's a whole bunch. Never mind. It's just 10 per page. Go 50. I can assign anybody I want at 23 million. This guy only wants 1.57. Not a lot of... Oh, they got the 500Ks. Everybody's 500Ks below this. Age, potential. Can't go by stats. It doesn't really show me what I'm supposed to be doing to go to the next stage. Just the achievements, autoplay. Expansion draft, fantasy draft, frivolities, God mode. Manage conference, teams, schedules, screenshot, league settings, dangers, a danger zone. What the heck is that? These are the things that you shouldn't do. It's got this bottom menu that keeps popping up. Change log, custom rosters, manual. Let's go look at the manual. How do I get started? Gameplay overview, preseason. Players develop, age ratings. Young players tend to be better, old players tend to get worse. Regular season games are played. Playoff. So what am I? I'm in the preseason? Is that what it is? But it doesn't, still don't tell me what I'm supposed to be doing here. I mean, what is the objective? There's no buttons. So there's no weekly schedule. And I assume I'm in the... I thought it said I was regular season. So they basically put the same menus on the top, which I guess is fine. So you got a sideboard and a top board. But I still don't know what I'm doing. Let's go look at the manual again. Depth chart. Tells you, explains what the things are. Yeah. It's really all it is. It's a manual of what the things are, but everything else about the user interface should hopefully be self-explanatory. From within the league, the most important user interface element is the play menu, which you can access in the big green play button at the top of the screen. Oh, okay. Play until regular season. Okay. So what? 2026 preseason. So this is preseason. So you basically so I would just play through, and I can't like play the preseason. There's no way to play a game. All right, my first game is going to be against Chicago. All right, so I played the preseason. I don't know what that did. What does it do when I play the preseason? I think we were going to look to see if I have, do I have stats now? Do I have something to say my guys are anything? No. I'm not totally sure. Does it show your contract years, or is it just 55? He must have 5 years on the contract. Let's see. Rushing, potential defense, rushing, blocking, college, expansion, contract through 11.15 years through 2013. Now, here's the other thing I'm not sure on this. Is it bonuses and stuff like that? I got to figure out how I'm going to implement that. All right, so I didn't get much done. I get it. It was probably unentertaining as I tried to learn how to play this. But, maybe I'll get a little bit more in the next time. I'm going to take a break. Till next time.